Gonna try to make it through this. Good evening. My name is Corinne Gentile, and it is an unbelievable privilege to be here tonight to accept this incredible honor on behalf of my dad, Bryan Blomquist. First and foremost, I'd like to start by thanking those who nominated him. Pat LaFontaine, one of the reasons my dad fell in love with the game, and his agent, Jim Johnson. Words cannot express how truly grateful my family is to you both for allowing us to celebrate my dad tonight. Anyone who knew my dad knows that he would have reacted in two ways had he been here for tonight's induction. One, he would have been humbled, honored, and beyond grateful. And two, he would have tried to convince Rennie to cancel tonight's event and instead cut a check to Long Island Rough Riders for the entire amount of money it costs to host this event. A fundraiser to the core, my dad sees every opportunity to be heard, often dropping his business card, phone number, or the website, lisledhockey.org, into every conversation. So given the opportunity to be here tonight, his speech would have been about the league, whereas mine will be about the man behind it. My dad was born to serve. He often talked about how he attributed his passion for service with a conversation he'd had with his dad when he was young. His dad had told him if he were ever in a position to help people, he should, because it would make him feel accomplished and it was just the right thing to do. Most kids idolize ball players, but my dad idolized his dad, took his words to heart, and ultimately those words paved the road for my dad's success and his future. His service began with serving his country. In 1970, he was in the under 100 club as draft pick number 99. So he enlisted in the United States Army and aced the language exam, which to anyone who knew him wasn't a surprise since he was somewhat of a closeted genius. After 60 weeks of training, he graduated first in his class and was assigned to Army intelligence at Camp Eagle with top secret clearance. He spent a year interviewing prisoners and making decisions that changed the world. Soon after returning home in December of '73, my dad joined the Limburg Police Department and began serving his community. He quickly climbed the ranks, and after 37 years and 29 days, of which he counted each, he retired as a lieutenant. During that time, my dad completed his bachelor's degree at the New York Institute of Technology and obtained a master's degree at John Jay. He raised 3 children, my older sister, Tara, younger brother, Brett, and me, the favorite. Amongst many other things, he taught Tara how to drive, was my biggest cheerleader at every volleyball game, and got Brett involved in every activity possible, including sled hockey. We took family vacations, had a cabana in Atlantic Beach, made time for holidays, grandparents, and all the normal things. But he somehow continued to find time to get involved with the Ronald McDonald House and the Muscular Dystrophy Foundation. I vividly remember my mom's standing joke throughout my childhood about how most other cops got a second job and made money, but my dad did charity work and raised money instead. Looking back now, I realize that he must have been some kind of superhero. In 1997, my dad began raising money for All Island Sports, an organization that had recently picked up sled hockey. An avid sports fan and a huge proponent for the differently abled athlete, my dad was hooked. My brother joined the team, and in 2003, my dad took over the hockey league and renamed it Long Island Sled Hockey, the Rough Riders. To us, his family, and anyone who knew him, the idea of my dad coaching an ice hockey league was kind of comical, since he certainly wasn't a winter sports kind of guy. And this was evident in the fact that he actually never put on a pair of ice skates. But there was nobody better suited to run the league. Over time, the team grew from 16 athletes upon inception to over 50 currently. He raised upwards of $250,000 annually, drove all over Long Island, shaking hands, kissing babies, and asking donations, or better yet, insisting upon them. He appeared on news segments, radio shows, in news articles, and was even selected as one of the first honorees for Mike Rowe's show, Returning the Favor. The team has traveled domestically and internationally to compete in tournaments that have kept their collection of medals plentiful. However, the promise he made at the very first meeting nearly 20 years ago still stands. Athletes pay for nothing. The phrase, "we measure their success in smiles, not medals," truly encompasses so much of who my dad was and what he created with the Rough Riders. An inclusive environment that promotes camaraderie, confidence and courage, self-determination and dedication. But they still have medals, and a win is a win. Far too humble to showcase them, Dad kept his collection of personal accolades and awards neatly displayed in the basement of my parents' house to serve as a reminder of all he'd accomplished. It's part of his legacy to us, as is this induction. The fact that my sister still drives like a cop, I don't miss any of my kids' sporting events, and my brother is still a proud member of the Long Island Rough Riders are also daily reminders of the way he's impacted each of us. Reminders that if we work hard enough, maybe we too can be superheroes. Abe Lincoln once said, "A man never stands so tall as he does when he stoops to help a child." Well, I'm pretty sure Abe would have thought my dad was a friggin' giant. To some, he was a coach, to others, a colleague, to many, a friend, to one, a husband, to few, a dad and a grandfather, to most, an inspiration, to all, a hero, and now a Hall of Famer. Congratulations, Daddy. Thank you so much.